This is the Inferno Podcast, the official podcast of UAB Athletics. Blazer fans, this is the place each week to get an inside look into UAB Athletics. This episode of the Inferno Podcast is brought to you by the Alabama Department of Public Health and Pearl River Resort. Welcome in to the Inferno Podcast. It's episode 23. Landrum Roberts, I'm your host. Coming up this week on the Inferno, our weekly rundown, and it's always brought to you by Legacy Credit Union, the official credit union of UAB Athletics. Athletics Director Mark Ingram, he's going to be joining us. We'll talk about not only the past week's events, but things coming up, exciting things happening within the UAB Athletics program. A little bit later on, our Coaches Corner segment. Former UAB standout women's basketball, current assistant coach for Coach Randy Norton and the Blazers, Miyah Barnes, going to be joining us. And our student athlete of the week, Jade Weathersby, fresh off a double-double and a win over Wichita State in overtime this past weekend. All of that and more. It's the Inferno Podcast.
Trent Dilfer here, head football coach of the UAB Blazers. I want to tell you about my friends at Legacy Credit Union. Legacy began as University Credit Union in 1955 and remains committed to UAB faculty, students, alumni, and fans. Not only do they support the Birmingham community, but they are also proud sponsors of UAB and UAB Athletics. Visit LegacyCreditUnion.com and find out why you should become a member today.
The Inferno Podcast, Blazer fans, we've made it really, really easy for you. There's a lot of different ways that you can consume this podcast each and every week, and we certainly appreciate you doing that. But you're going to appreciate it because we're going to keep you up to date on everything going on within the athletics program, the green and gold. YouTube, it's pretty simple. At Inferno Podcast UAB, like, subscribe, ring the bell, tell your family about it, your friends, your neighbors, spread it around the office. This thing is going to catch fire, literally. Appreciate you joining us there on YouTube, but also Instagram. You can find us Inferno_pod on Twitter, or the X if you prefer, at InfernoPod_UAB. On Facebook, that's kind of the OG, right? UAB Athletics. You can find it there on Facebook. And, of course, you can go to UABsports.com. We got links. We got all different ways. There is no excuse for you to miss the Inferno Podcast.
As UAB athletes, there's nothing we like more than the Lord of Pride.
Around here, we say we win as one.
One.
And to keep cheering for the green and gold.
There's one thing we need from you.
Ask your doctor about an RSV vaccine.
And help protect everyone.
Our littlest Blazers and our most seasoned fans are most at risk from RSV.
Ask about your RSV vaccine today.
So we can all stay in the game.
And win as one.
Welcome back into the Inferno Podcast. Landrum Roberts, along with UAB Athletics Director Mark Ingram. Mark, how are you? Thawing out?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, finally, right? No, it's, it really scared a lot of our fans. We had a great basketball game last week against San Antonio, and our crowd was thin because there was all this talk about this bad weather that was coming that never showed up, which I think we were all glad for. But it was awfully cold. It was like 10 degrees, so, you had to bundle up a little bit.
Did you wear your ugly Christmas sweater? Stay warm in Bartow?
I did not, no. I spared everyone, mainly my family, from that.
You can scroll back and you can watch that episode, but I
one.
love the description. It was Kmart, right?
Yes, Kmart.
I'll never forget.
Ladies section. Yeah, that's where I got it.
Today's weekly update brought to you by the Alabama Department of Public Health. Help protect all UAB fans. Ask your doctor about your RSV vaccine today so we can all win as one. Speaking of women, UAB women's basketball.
On a hot streak, man.
A lot of positive momentum for Coach Norton and that team. Now 2 straight in American Conference play. First, a win in overtime over Rice, and then this past weekend, avenging an earlier season loss to Wichita State, the Shockers, and I'm sure balmy Kansas.
Kansas,
but
no doubt.
You had Jade Weathersby, who's going to be joining us later on in the podcast as our student athlete of the week. Another double-double, her 7th of the season.
Yeah.
But that's a big road win.
It's a huge road win, and Rice, which you mentioned, and I don't know this off the top of my head, but they've gotten the better of not just us, most everybody. Rice has been dominant in this conference, even going back into Conference USA. So call it the last decade. they've really dominated on the women's basketball side. So that was also a great win. So we've got 5 straight. The ladies have 5 straight. The men have 5 straight until they lost to Memphis, but I know they'll bounce back from that too. But both teams playing well.
UAB women, they moved to 14-7 overall, and they are now 5-4 in conference play. Coming up next, they're at Tulane this Saturday in New Orleans with a 2 p.m. tip-off. Mark just mentioned it, UAB men's basketball, been playing this rivalry since 1984. Only 2 times Blazer teams have gone and won in Memphis. Unfortunately, it didn't happen this past weekend. Memphis was on fire from outside. Do you want to give a shout out there to, first of all, Buddy Johnson, who joined us on the Inferno podcast last week with AJ Vasquez. Buddy, he brought it 17 first half points. He was hot from the outside, 21 overall. Yaxel Lindeborg, his 12th double-double of the season. But unfortunately, sometimes in a team like Memphis, when they're seeing it well, and they were seeing it well on Sunday.
They were, and Yaxel just barely laces up his sneakers and seems to get a double-double. But it was great to see Ephraim Budda Johnson make some threes and some tough ones, not just wide-open looks, man. He really made some great shots, and he's such a good shooter, but he's just been ice cold, really, all season. So that is a real silver lining there, is to see him make some shots that I think is really important for his confidence. Hopefully, he works really hard at it, and so good for him for that happening. That one of their former players that's on their staff at Memphis, a guy named Tim Duncan, is a friend of mine, and after the game he said that's the best we played all year. I was just so glad that it happened against us. It had to happen against us because they had played a couple of days before against Wichita, I believe, and did not play well. It was like a really close game, 2 or 3 point game in the 50s. Both teams struggled scoring, and they were hot. They were hot Sunday.
Blazers host Charlotte coming up this Saturday, Bartow Arena. Make your plans to be there. We will be there 1 o'clock, the tip time there.
Well, and we've got Monday. So we got Saturday against Charlotte, Monday against North Texas, who beat us in this crazy finish at North Texas earlier in the year. So please show up. We need all of our fans there Saturday and Monday.
And you're right. And that was a double-digit lead in the first half. North Texas, they kind of tightened the screws in the second half, hit a 3 at the buzzer, won that game by 3 in Denton.
Weird shot.
Let's return the favor against the Mean Green coming up next week. Blazer men's tennis, they win at Southern Miss on Saturday. First win under new head coach Matt Coomer.
Yep.
That's a big win. Next, they're going to host South Alabama on Monday, 1 p.m. at the Hoover Met Tennis Center.
Yeah, it's always good to beat Southern Miss, right? And they're an old rival of ours, too, also back to the Conference USA days. But really happy for Matt and that team to get that win. That was really good. And our women's tennis team has won a couple of matches as well. So, we play our home matches down at the Hoover Met. You have to have 6 courts to host a match. We only have 4 on our campus, something we need to try to fix. But really happy for them, and the Hoover facility is terrific. So, go support those kids. Yeah,
Sunday, Blazers, they're traveling to Starkville to take on Mississippi State. First serve scheduled for 11 a.m. And I'm going to throw this in there. Women's bowling, they're at Maryville this weekend, and also we've got track. Women's track is going to be in Clemson, South Carolina this weekend. So exciting things happening with both of those programs.
It's all happening, man. Spring is really busy, and baseball and softball will be right behind us. And so, we focus a lot of attention on football and basketball, but there's so many contests at this time of the year when you still have both basketball teams playing, and then baseball and softball start up, and then you start having track meets and tennis matches and all that kind of thing. So, a lot of fun.
Coming up next, it's the Coach's Corner. Coach Miyah Barnes joins the show. The Inferno continues. Welcome back into the Inferno podcast. It's time for our Coach's Corner. Every single week, the Coach's Corner is brought to you by Pepsi and Viva Health. This week, UAB women's basketball represented Coach Miyah Barnes. Started here as a player, now as an assistant coach and head of talent development, and she knows all about that because I guess, Coach, you developed yourself. You had a pretty stellar career there for the Green and Gold in your time.
Yes, majority of it,
Majority
with help
of it?
Trainers, but yeah.
What was it like for you when you had those conversations with Coach Randy Norton and coming back to your alma mater?
And so me and Coach Norton, we really didn't talk as much because I was back and forth between going overseas and just kind of figuring out what I want to do after basketball. So he reached out to me in the gray area of my life, I guess. I was still doing player development after playing overseas, and he reached out to me and just asked me what did I think about coming back, doing player development. So, of course, I was like, kind of, maybe it's a sign. Like, absolutely. Like, yes. He asked me before, but I was like, no. Like, I don't want to do it because I'm still stuck in between playing basketball still. And I felt like it would kind of be like a player again at the time. But right now I have no regrets. Like, I'm thankful that I accepted it and I'm here today. So it was a perfect timing thing.
And Coach, you're still young, but I think it's pretty unique. You were part of that group of student athletes across intercollegiate athletics that finished up your career right before kind of the onset of NIL, transfer portal, all that good stuff got going, right? And I say that half tongue in cheek. It's a good thing, don't get me wrong, but there's a lot of other stuff that comes with it.
Yeah, we were doing during that COVID, like soon as COVID hit, then everything kind of ended. So honestly, it's kind of like a blank space because during conference tournament, we lost. But on the flip side, everybody else, in my head, I'm like, nobody won because this COVID thing is going on. So as a competitor, I was like, yay, like nobody wins. But just after that COVID year, it was just a gray area. Then I left. So that's pretty much it. I mean, everything is very new, actually. It's going by so fast. You got the COVID year, players get extra years, NIL. So I definitely kind of wish that I was in that era because extra years, you got players that are probably like close to my age that are still playing. So that's kind of shocking, but it wasn't for me, so that's fine. But I'm very appreciative, like for players like Jade and other women athletes, they get the opportunity to get paid off of several things. And they get extra opportunities to play basketball for longer. So that's good for everyone else. So.
Well, and you get the opportunity to coach players like Jade Weathersby, Aurora, Colorado. You come to UAB your second year. Congratulations, by the way. Big game at Wichita State, right? 16 points, 19 boards, your seventh double-double of the season. Man, you guys, you've been hot of late. You now in conference play, you're on the winning side of things at 5-4. You got a lot of games left. But Jade, first of all, talk about this past weekend going to Wichita, Kansas, and avenging an earlier season loss to the Shockers in overtime.
Yeah. So I think there's definitely been a lot of growth since the first time we played Wichita and the last time we played. As a team in the beginning of conference, I think we were struggling to really match our identity with ourselves. Our identity we like to think of it as grit, toughness, relentlessness. And so I think we struggled a bit with that at the beginning of conference, which is when we played Wichita. But we've definitely fought and come together a lot more now. So the last time we played Wichita, it was good. It was good seeing everybody able to buy into those things.
And we hear it in football, and rarely will you hear a football coach during the week, during the season, in a press conference, or even sometimes after a game. Rarely will you hear, well, we just had a horrible week of practice. We practiced terrible. Usually it's, man, I don't know what happened. We had a great week of practice. Or, hey, I saw this coming. We really practiced well. Is there an indicator in basketball? And Coach, I want to ask you this too, because you've been on as a player, but now as a coach. But can you tell as a player when everything's kind of clicking?
Oh yeah, 1,000%. How practices look is typically how the game is going to go. So I can tell that if we're having a unfocused practice or if we're just not going 100%, it's going to make the next game a lot harder.
What about you, Coach? All right, so separate yourself
Right.
from your playing days to now coaching players like Jade. Do you have a pretty good sense? Warm-ups, walk around, meetings?
Yeah. Pretty much what she said. As coaches, we really do like hone in on and telling them like, however you prepare, that's probably going to be how you come out and play and the outcome. So I agree with what she said. If it's a high energy, everyone's locked in, everyone's talking and just having fun, then 9.9 times out of 10 is going to be a good game and we're going to win. So I agree. And that's on both sides, as a player and as a coach. So
After your time at UAB, Coach, as a player, you went to play professionally over in Germany, playing overseas. Describe the experience. What was that like?
So each experience was different. I went to Cyprus my first year, Germany my second, and Switzerland my third and a half. So
Was there a favorite?
Yes. Germany for sure. I played with other Americans, so that made it more feel like more at home. Cyprus for other purposes like the weather and the culture, and it was pretty safe and chill. I like Cyprus because of that, which I couldn't experience everything because that was like during COVID as well, so a lot of things were shut down. But Germany, I would say, was my favorite.
What about Switzerland?
That was okay. That was very different. So that's when I realized, I miss the U.S. So.
That's where people go to hide their money, Switzerland.
Yeah,
that's what I always heard anyways.
I heard.
And they're always neutral, right? You always hear that expression, Switzerland.
It was nice maybe for like a vacation, but it also was like kind of surreal. I'm like really in the mountains right now. I don't know. That was very different. Germany was probably the closest to like the U.S. So I think that's why I liked it so much. And I had familiar people, faces, and the culture was kind of closer to the States.
I guess, the landscape a little bit different than Memphis, Tennessee, or Birmingham, Alabama. We have Oak Mountain, we have Red Mountain. But Jade, you had the Rocky Mountains in Aurora, Colorado to look at. We were all complaining recently with the frigid temperatures. You had to be right at home, or cold as cold.
Yeah, I was really like, this isn't that bad.
It wasn't that bad. We were a bunch of complainers, right?
You know, it's okay because, well, here's the thing. Once I moved down south, because I lived in Georgia for a few years, once I moved down south and I got used to the warm weather, I was like, I can see why the cold weather comes as a shock because it's like it hits out of nowhere. Typically.
It does.
Yeah.
When you were out in Aurora, not stereotyping, did you enjoy the snow sports?
I did.
Snowboarding, skiing, all that good stuff?
I did, yeah. No, me and my brother, we love sledding. We love going up to the mountains any chance we could have got, so yeah.
Well, I don't know what the forecast holds, but you probably have to go there. Or last week you was just going to South Alabama when they got 8-9 inches.
Yeah, no, they got a lot of snow.
That was crazy. I guess you know by now that's not the norm around here.
You know.
We continue here, the Coach's Corner, Coach Jade Weathersby joining us, a player, and Coach Miyah Barnes, former player and now head of talent development for Coach Randy Norton. What have you seen from this team from non-conference play, start of conference play? We heard it from Jade, but also to where we are now, about the midway point of the season.
I would definitely say it's more of what we preach a lot is the identity part. Who are you when we're playing? How do you want to be remembered? We talk about legacy, just the things that you can control. So I've definitely, like Jade said, seen the growth in the focus, the attention to detail, the grit, the fight. And those are the things that I think is way more important than just can you play, make 40 points, 40 rebounds. What are you going to do if the ball is not going into the hole? So we really do kind of focus on, like Jay said, just the fight, consistency of doing that every night that we play or in practice as well. So,
what can you stress to maybe younger players, aspiring players that want to play at this level and even beyond? Certain drills that they can do. What are some of the fundamental things that you think are vital to a player's development as they're coming up in the maturation process?
Honestly, I would just say you could do a lot of things, but I would say consistency and doing it at a high level. So no matter if it's dribbling with your right hand, dribbling with your left hand, shooting 25 shots, if you only do it once a week, it's not going to do anything. So consistently doing whatever you do. That's what I would say.
What about you, Jade? Any particular drills that you found were kind of routine for you in coming up in your development, in your basketball life?
Yeah, definitely. Kind of like Miyah said, it's practicing doing what you do. So for me, I'm a rebounder, so I practice, going to get rebounds, get someone else in the gym with me, throw up just extra shots so I can go practice getting those. If you have one hand that's weaker than the other, get different dribbling drills in. And again, just doing that a little bit either before practice or every day after practice, it'll help you so much.
The popularity of women's college basketball, it really grew, and it came from certain programs. UConn, they'd been doing it for a long time, but you get Angel Reese in that LSU program, and of course, Kim Mulkey with her flamboyance and some of the clothes that she wears there on the sideline, but also from Caitlin Clark and what she was able to do. And then even some of the back and forth and the yeah and all of that, I feel like at the end of the day, Coach, I'll start with you. I think that was a positive, a real positive for women's basketball as a whole, not just at the college level, but the professional level as well, because it brought eyeballs that might not normally be watching the game.
Yeah, I agree. The list goes on even after the names that you did say. And like I always say, like, that's still exciting to see. Like you said, it's such a wide range from coaches to players that's helped women basketball just getting out there. And it's continuing to grow. So I agree. I agree with you.
What about you, Jade?
No, I definitely agree with that. It's been amazing being able to see women's college sports finally take off, especially basketball. And again, yeah, of course, there's always going to be chipper here and there between players, but again, that makes the game more exciting. So, yeah, no, it's been great.
I feel like good Lord gave me a gift to be able to just sense when you're around just certain people, just be able to tell. You seem like you are absolutely just a joy to be around.
Thank you.
A very just calm presence. But does that switch flip a little bit when you're playing the forward position? It's competitive. I've seen really, really nice people be different people on the court in the field of play. Is it like that for you?
Absolutely. I switch it. Again, even if I have friends on the court, that's for off the court. On the court, again, nobody's my friend. So, again, because you're not going to be able to play like a dog if you're trying to be the nice guy on the court. So, yeah.
What's your pet peeve? When you're battling on the block, you're trying to get position. What annoys you more than anything?
Man, like three just came to mind, but honestly, I think my biggest pet peeve is the effort. Like, if I'm over here, trying, just fighting and battling, but I'm seeing a lack of it from others, that really gets under my skin.
Okay, well, and I can see that.
Yeah.
The chirping that goes on. Is there a lot of that in women's college basketball?
Honestly, there is a little more.
Really?
Yeah,
a lot of trash talk?
Yeah.
Really?
It's got to just because the refs love. Honestly, I'll say the refs let the men get away with a lot more than women's. So the women just have to keep it quieter. But
why? Why won't they don't give you guys a long leash?
Oh no. Like, if they hear us say one thing, it's a warning already.
So what constitutes a warning? Is it
like if they hear us like just say anything to the other player? If they hear us coming out of our timeout huddles just talking, either we have to say it to ourselves or our teammates, or it's a warning.
Coach, I'm just gonna say, I sense that you're a really, really sweet person and a joy to be around. But something tells me you did not hold back when you played.
The best way I can describe it is like someone told me this before actually by myself. It's like a silent killer. Like,
yeah.
I never vocalized a lot, but I'm more of like an action type of person and player. So.
Did you ever do the shh?
No.
Is that kind of a new thing? Like telling people to shh
I don't know.
when you make a shot? Is that new?
I mean, I feel like it's been around for a little bit, but it's not. I don't know. Again, I feel like a lot more of like the celebrations and stuff like that, you do see it more on the men's side just because like when you do try and do a celebration, the refs will even give you a warning for that.
Yeah. We get like a short leash, even
Very
the coaches.
short.
So.
Yeah.
Let them play. Let them jaw a little bit, refs.
Exactly. It's part of the fun.
Well, in baseball, it's the, the guy standing on second, stand-up double. He's doing this. Football, they do all kinds of stuff. And then in basketball, you get the silence the crowd,
Right.
especially on the road. Is there a particular venue in conference that you enjoy going and playing in?
Honestly, I'll probably say Memphis. Yeah, Memphis is exciting. It's always a rivalry, so I enjoy having the fans chirp at us a little bit.
Yeah, Memphis, and you know about that, growing up in Memphis, what it is around not only Memphis athletics, but also with the professional sports team that is there and their basketball and what that city, what that means. Rendezvous Ribs, is that solid no?
Yeah.
Okay. No?
I'm not really a big barbecue fan.
Okay.
Like,
Did you ever go to Graceland?
no.
Okay. I went there this past year when you were
I
doing
always
football over there.
I drive by it sometimes, but I never been.
It's different. It's interesting. It's a way to kill 2.5 hours on a Sunday coming back to Birmingham. My wife wanted to go.
Yeah.
I went.
How
It was
was
interesting. It was interesting,
Okay.
yeah. Elvis was, believe it or not, Elvis was actually before my time.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Way before mine.
Speaking of famous people, you are actually siblings with one Jason Tatum, who has made quite the career for himself, right?
Yeah.
You ever gone one-on-one, Jason?
I did, actually.
Yeah.
When we were little. And
Did you get the better of him?
no, I didn't.
No.
I didn't know like who he was at the time, but we definitely played 21 street basketball, and yeah, he humbled me a little bit. So
What about you growing up? Was that driveway basketball or?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, my younger brother, he's 2 years younger, but yeah, no, we lived in that driveway playing one-on-one.
it's fine.
Coach, what do you want to see for the team as we get into the second half of the conference schedule, and then we'll have tournament play, and then hopefully beyond that?
Grit, resilience, and consistency, and just togetherness through whatever comes our way. So,
Jade, what about you? What do you want to see from yourself and your teammates?
For myself, again, I just want to keep seeing more growth every game. So, again, just keeping that dog mentality. And I can say the same goes for wanting to see that from my team, just being dogs, fighting, and sticking together because, again, not every game is going to be easy. Again, the last two have gone into overtime, but we stuck together. So definitely seeing more of that.
Keep it rolling. Keep it rolling. You're going to hang out, Jade. Coach Miyah Barnes, we're going to let Jade participate in a little something we call lightning round. But thank you for joining us, getting up early, coming up, and what you're doing with UAB women's basketball, you and Coach Norton, that entire staff, the team. A lot of exciting things happening.
thank you for having us.
Thanks for joining us. The Inferno continues.
The if in life, it's a world of possibilities. If you go for a night out with friends, if you can keep an eye on your money along the way, if you know you have overdraft protection with no fee transfers from savings, when you get a low balance alert, it's easier to say yes to fun. If that sounds good, try Regions Life Banking.
Stay ready for the if in life. Regions Bank embrace the if in life.
Welcome back into the Inferno podcast. Landrum Roberts, Jade Weathersby coming off a double-double, her 7th of the season over Wichita State. That is Mark Ingram, Director of Athletics, UAB Athletic Director, if you will. Mark, how are you?
I'm excellent. Good morning. How are you doing?
We're doing great. We're excited about women's basketball.
You just had one of the all-time greats.
I know.
On the show, Miyah Barnes. I met Miyah on her recruiting trip. I met her and her dad on her recruiting trip. We had lunch together, and it is one of the great parts of my job to be able to see a person like Miyah come and visit, and then she chose UAB, and she was a fantastic, she will never tell you this, she was a fantastic player. And one of the things that made Miyah so great is that she really understood what hard work was. Like, she was always in the gym. She was always shooting. You could never go into Bartow and not see her and a couple of her teammates getting shots up, which is why she was such a great player, right? She could shoot it, but she could handle the ball really well. And she said something about you asked her about trash talk. She really didn't. She was very quiet, and she was just a quiet killer. She just would, dribble around you and make a layup, and if you fouled her, she was going to make her free throws. She was a great shooter outside, too, and she really had a terrific game, which is why she played professionally, and she's a joy to be around. And so it's fun to see her graduate, go on, to see her from recruiting to playing. Her team won a championship, graduate from college, go play professionally, and come back. It's just awesome. Our team is really lucky to have her.
You feel lucky, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no. I love being able to be coached, especially by a young player who's again just freshly done with being playing. So it's good to get a lot of insight from Coach Miyah. So yeah.
All right, we have the lightning round that's coming up, and it's a series of questions. There's no wrong answer unless you just don't answer, and then that's a negative mark.
That's a give up.
You don't want one of those. I think the best lightning round as far as score that we've ever had has probably been either Sarah Bershear or Yaxel Lindebord.
That makes sense.
Okay. You ready?
They're really hard questions, Jade.
They are really hard.
Really
and I've
hard.
added some, by the way. I have some write-in questions.
Okay.
Here we go. Lightning round begins now. Mark, you're going to participate as well.
Okay, terrific.
Do we need to alternate who goes first?
I don't even know what we're doing. I don't think
Okay.
I've done this before.
Yeah.
I think you did once. Starting here. What does the acronym SMH mean? What does that stand for?
Shaking my head.
Boom. Point. Mark, here's your question. How many Harry Potter books and movies are there? There are this many books and this many movies.
Is it the same?
No.
Oh. There's like 5 movies. 6 books. I don't know.
No.
Okay.
7 books, 6 movies.
Golly.
We're going to give her 1 point.
You get a half a point.
7 books and 8 movies.
Okay.
Golly.
I didn't know this,
Gotta brush up on my hair.
but I'm not really good with pop culture. We'll start with Jade. Which pop star accidentally set fire to her home gym with candles? Here's a hint, Jade. She has just been a mess for a while, really. It's sad.
There's been a few.
That doesn't narrow it down.
Yeah, I know.
I'm not sure.
Just a mess.
There's no wrong answer, right?
Well, there are wrong
there's
answers.
wrong answers,
But they're
yes.
not going to come find you, Jade. So here's the good news. They don't know where you are.
I'm guessing several have probably started a fire.
Yeah, there's only one.
No, I really don't know. I'm just gonna throw out a name and just say Ice Spice.
That's incorrect. Would you like
Pink.
for a steal? A pink? No. Well, she might have. I don't know. Pink seems like she's
I don't
kind of
know.
grounded. She's got a good family life. I watched the documentary, and
Did
those,
you?
those tell the
Okay.
truth. We know that those are accurate.
But she seems like a person that could beat you
When
up,
I
too.
say this, you guys are gonna be like, oh,
Beyonce.
yeah, it's Brittany.
Oh, God. That would have been an easy
mess.
yes.
Brittany.
I would not do that.
Do you remember the story about her going and trying to get the autograph of Victor there in the hotel? Oh, that was the mess too.
Yeah.
That's just
It's been rough.
As we
Was she
say,
married
as
to
we say here in
K-Fed
the
at the
South,
time?
bless her heart.
Was she married to K-Fed at the time?
She was not married to K-Fed. She was more married to the next guy. I
Okay.
forgot his name.
Well, bless her heart.
Anyway, what team has won the most WNBA championships? It's actually 3 different franchises have won 4. I'll just say that they won 4 each. Who are those franchises, WNBA?
Sparks.
That is not one of them. Keep going.
L.A.
No.
The Aces.
No.
The Mercury.
No.
What?
Houston Comets, Minnesota Lynx, Seattle Storm.
Oh.
We did not do well there.
Not at all.
There's only 8 teams, and we guessed like 3 of them.
I didn't want to
And we
point
were
that
all
out.
wrong. How is this possible?
But because of deductive reasoning, we were about
Golly.
to hit those.
I was just thinking about
that's the
Lisa
Brady team,
Leslie
right?
being on those original teams in L.A., and I was like, I'll bet they won championship.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Same.
But you didn't guess L.A.
I mean, Sparks.
They're the Sparks. Who's the Galaxy?
Is that soccer?
That's a soccer team. Golly.
And
So you did say the Sparks, and then I said L.A.
In the World League of American Football, we had the Frankfurt
Yes.
Galaxy when the
Really
Birmingham Fire
struggling.
was here. All right, that is Mark Ingram.
That's bad.
Who are the only 2 unanimous MVPs in WNBA history?
Asia Wilson, for one.
Oh.
Candace Parker.
No.
Lisa Leslie.
Sue Bird. Diana Taurasi.
No. I don't want you to just keep throwing them out.
They're all great players.
They are.
Brittany Griner?
Cynthia Cooper.
Unanimous, really.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's what it says here on my sheet. It's got to be correct.
Okay.
I'm embarrassed that all of a sudden I'm blanking on her name. There was a player. She went to Georgia and she played on like 8 Olympic teams.
Talking about Holtzclaw?
No, that's Tennessee.
Or yeah, but who was the player that was? I know Holtzclaw played at Tennessee, but there was another player that I'm trying to remember.
Tamika Catchings.
Yeah, but it was.
I was there with Tamika, with Candace Parker too, but Holtzclaw, Catchings, and there was a point guard named Tamika Randall, who was a lot like Miyah Barnes. Real fast, real good with her.
Remember Jennifer Azee that played at Stanford?
Yeah. She's older than them. That's a
throwback.
Yeah, Azee's older than them. From Oak Ridge, Tennessee. How about that? Pat couldn't get her.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Went to Stanford for a decent education.
Yeah, it's all right.
Overrated?
No, I'm just kidding. I think it's a great education.
Probably not.
Now taxes and cost of living, that's a whole other story out there.
But it is pretty.
It is pretty. One more pop culture question.
We've not done well.
No.
Well, she's done better than you.
There's no question.
Troy Bolton's dad in High School Musical is the brother-in-law of which famous actress in real life? I have no idea.
This is on you.
I have no idea.
That's the grease
she's
of your
married.
generation.
She's married to a guy he's an actor. He's in like everything, and he has some private business ventures. Might have had a show about a soccer club. I'm just throwing it off. And it is Blake Lively.
But yeah, I would have never guessed that.
I wouldn't have either.
Yeah.
I don't know who the dad is. I've never seen the movie.
Me neither.
I've never seen the movie either.
I've never seen the movie either.
Hey, can we do this? Because I catch grief on our show. I've never seen
much.
High School Musical.
No.
Wow, you've never seen High School Musical? Like, wow, no. And they made how many of them?
No, right. Every time I say I haven't seen it, everybody's like, "What?"
Back in the day when you had like the little mini TVs in your car.
Yeah.
My kids have watched it, so I've heard it a lot. I've never seen it, but I've heard the conversation. So I'm familiar with the movie, but I don't know who any of the people look like.
Yeah, you got me. All right, more. These are more just personal questions. Early bird or night owl?
Night owl, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Night owl.
Night owl. Cook or takeout?
Honestly, depends on the day, but 9 out of 10 times I would take out.
You like to cook?
I like to cook.
What's your go-to?
Shrimp Alfredo.
Shrimp Alfredo.
Shrimp Alfredo.
Shrimp Alfredo, that's solid right there. So Butta Johnson, we had him on. He went pasta. He went pasta dish. Now AJ Vasquez, more breakfast.
Yeah.
Eggs, bacon, and he says he'll throw in some avocado every now and then, just to be sophisticated.
Little known fact that Birmingham is known for its shrimp.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
We get it pretty fresh though because it comes from the Gulf.
In the air.
You want to make sure it's wild caught Gulf shrimp. That comes from the Gulf. Some of the other stuff that you get that comes from other places, probably want to stay away from that.
Colorado's known for shrimp too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No, not so much. Night out or night in?
Honestly, night in. Yeah. I'll definitely take, movies, some of my favorite snacks, 1,000%.
I'm too old to go out anymore. I think to myself, oh, that'll be fun. And by the time I get home and get settled for a second, thinking, yeah, let's go. Yeah, I don't want to go anymore.
I've been an old soul since I was a teenager. I always would rather be in than out.
No, 1,000%. I can also be on my pajamas when I'm in.
That's what I'm talking about. Most hated chore?
Ooh. Laundry. Can't stand laundry.
Laundry?
Yeah.
Same.
I learned early on in my marriage, just screw it up once and you'll never have to do it again.
Yeah.
I just admitted that. Sorry, honey. Favorite family memory for you?
Ooh, let's see. It actually goes back to sledding. Like I mentioned previously, we went So each year, our family would take a trip up to Colorado Springs, up in the mountains, around Christmas time. And so one of my favorite memories is me and my brother. I'm about 10, about 7, 8, and we decided we wanted to venture off and explore. So keep in mind, like, trees everywhere. So we saw our parents, we're going outside. Mom was like, all right, just stay safe, stay in the area. Okay. Because really it's no danger. Like, it's nothing that could really happen. So we go off and we're like, okay, let's be explorers. And we start going off into the woods. And I turn around and all of a sudden I'm lost. And so my brother, he doesn't pick up on the fact that I don't know where we are yet. And so he's just playing around. I'm starting to panic a little bit because it was starting, like, the sun was starting to set a little bit. And we had walked for maybe like 10 minutes. And at the time, it felt like we were walking for a long time. It really wasn't that long. But so we're in the woods. And then we had also heard something. I think it was a deer, like nothing crazy. And so my brother's like, okay, like, he's like, I'm ready to go back. And I'm like, I was like, me too. And so I'm like, I don't know where we are. He starts having a panic attack. He's crying. I'm over here trying not to panic. And so it was like, we heard my mom's voice. And she was maybe like 5 feet away. And she was like, where are you guys? We turn around. We had just ended up in the back of the house that we were staying at. And so she finds me and my brother crying. And she's like, where did you guys go? And we were just like, well, we thought we were lost. And so then, that's just always a funny story to bring up. Yeah.
It's, and I could see it, but out there, you say, no, it was probably a deer. It could have been a big cat.
It could have been.
Stalking you guys.
Yeah, but they typically, like, if there's, like, different houses and apartments nearby, they typically try and stay away from those areas.
What about bears?
Oh, yeah, definitely seen a couple bears.
Bears just come up to you and ask you for food.
You don't have moose there, do you? No moose. No meese.
No meese.
Yeah, no. No moose.
Do you have a favorite family member?
Well, I've got 4 kids. Birth of your kids is going to be pretty strong. As you were telling that story, I was reminded, I thought to myself, we were on a vacation and we were driving back from like Destin, somewhere down there. And it was either on Memorial Day or on the 4th of July. It was that holiday we were coming back. And we were driving through one of those small towns, trying to get back to the interstate. And they were about to have a parade. And they were about to shut the streets down. And we got through the parade, like through the streets, like right before they closed the street. But the streets were lined with people. And we were in my wife's car. She drove a Suburban at the time. And she kept this bag of mints in her console. And so we were having to drive really slow to get through this. And we just observed that there was this parade about to happen. And we all rolled the windows down and just started waving. And my kids reached into the console and started throwing mints out the car window. That's one of my favorite memories of our family because it just happened spontaneously, no planning. And people were waving at us like we were just, waving.
They have no idea who that family was.
We're throwing old, half-wrapped candy like out of your grandma's purse, like out the window, and it was fun.
Oh, yeah. That's great. Favorite sports to watch on TV besides basketball?
Football.
Favorite pro team?
Broncos.
You got a favorite pro team?
The LA Galaxy. Can I say that one again?
Don't use that one again.
We lived in Philly for 3 years before we were here. My children act like they were born and raised in Philadelphia.
Oh, very convenient that we're going to claim them now. Convenient. Now that we have a Super Bowl coming
they're
up.
Angry about it. Like they're from Philly. They're angry about it. They're mad about it all the time. Their favorite player is the backup quarterback. It doesn't matter who the quarterback is. They love the backup.
That's everybody.
That's everybody, but particularly Philly fans. My wife was from Cincinnati. God bless her. She has to pull for the Bengals all the time. When Joe Burrow's playing, she loves him. She loves him. I don't care. I love to watch. I'm that's about all we watch on television is some sport.
So Jade, Nuggets or Broncos? You'd rather go watch the Broncos play?
Absolutely not. Nuggets.
Nuggets.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, the Broncos. We're rebuilding. We're in the process of rebuilding.
You got Bo Nix from right here in Alabama.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pinson, right down the road.
Did you ever have a Carmelo jersey?
I don't, but my dad has one of his varsity jackets, his McDonald's All-American one. Yeah.
Favorite athlete?
Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Nice. She just rattled
Right
it
off.
too.
Yeah, Miyah Barnes, my all-time favorite.
I say Giannis. I don't even say it again. Antetokounmpo.
Yeah, Antetokounmpo.
I mean, she said it like she knows him, like they're
practiced
buddies. Yeah, you practiced that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, 1,000%.
That didn't just come out.
No, 1,000%. You know,
You have to look in the mirror several times to get that out right.
You know, it's taken a while, but no, since he really started, coming up, definitely one of my favorite players to watch.
Beach or mountains?
Mountains.
Beach.
Coffee or tea?
Tea.
Tea.
Tea for you.
I'm not a coffee guy.
Really?
Love the smell of coffee.
Really?
Love the smell of coffee. Can't stand the taste.
Huh.
Yeah, irritates my wife to death.
Never would have pegged
It's
you
one
for
of the
no
many
coffee.
things that she hates about me. One of the many things.
So
Go on a
bad.
vacation or something, and she wants to go to that charming little coffee shop down the street. I don't like coffee, and just ruins it for her. I'm like, I'll go and drink a bottle of water or something, sit with you. Not the same.
Be careful with this next answer. Dogs or cats?
Dogs.
Same.
You know, I have a dog.
Really?
Yeah.
What's the dog's name?
Ice.
Ice?
What kind of a dog do you have?
She's a corgi mixed with a mini Australian Shepherd.
That's fantastic. We had a corgi mix, Rosie, named after my mother-in-law, Rosemary, and they're great dogs. Now we have a miniature dachshund named Francis.
We had miniature dachshunds growing up. First one, my sister, she named it Snickle Fritz.
Snickle Fritz.
Snickle Fritz.
It's tough to get out.
Yeah.
In a hurry.
You know?
Yeah.
I don't think I could be mad at the dog. It's like Snickle Fritz.
No, it's Snickle Fritz.
Yeah, I just couldn't be mad at it. I couldn't yell at it.
No.
Do you have like a million pictures of your dog?
I do. I'm not even going to lie.
That's Francis. There's Francis.
Ah, look
how proud
look
she
at
is.
Francis.
She's so proud. She's regal. She's really regal. I brought her on the show once. She was on the show. And she was just like 6 weeks old. We had her on the show.
Aw.
Bring
She
her
was
back.
Like half the size of that water bottle.
Bring her back. I'll put her in a little papoose
Yeah.
during the show. We can raise money for the Humane Society or something.
Get Ice.
I think this is a good idea.
Francis here.
I actually got ice from a vendor at a rodeo, fun fact.
From a rodeo.
Yeah, so I was working security.
At the rodeo?
At the rodeo.
This is going to be good.
Yeah, I was working security
In
at
Colorado?
the rodeo. No, here. It was at is it Pelham Civic Center?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so I was working security at the rodeo. And I saw, he was one of the guys who was selling cowboy
You'd stop
hats.
right there and it's already good.
And he had 3 puppies in a cage. And so me and my teammate, we were looking and we were like, I wonder if they're for sale. And she was like, go ask. And so I was like, okay. And so I asked him, he was like, yeah, no, we have to get rid of them. And I was like, okay. I said, what about that one? And he was like, yeah, you can have her. And so I said, awesome. So yeah, that's literally how I got my puppy. Went home with me.
How old was she?
She was 6 weeks at the time.
Oh, all right.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah, she was a baby.
How much does she weigh now?
Oh, about 17 pounds.
Really?
Yeah.
17 pounds. I was thinking.
Yeah, no, she's gotten big. She's long. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Short legs.
Long legs, but she's short. Yeah, I
How
don't
does she have a corgi?
Is that the same as saying you're big boned?
You know,
A little
here,
bit.
let me show you what I mean.
Okay, see, you said that you had pictures.
Of course. I have to. Okay, let's see.
We appreciate you joining us here on the Inferno
Yeah, we're talking dog
podcast.
pictures.
Like and
Fantastic.
subscribe. Ring the bell.
She
They're on
does have
YouTube.
longer legs, though.
She has like long limbs.
I
but
wish
she's
we
short.
could zoom
body
in. Let me
is of a
see. Let me
corgi,
see.
but she's got longer
Ah,
legs.
look.
How proud.
She's just waiting to do something
She's
great.
ready. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. She's
Lick you.
we have fun.
Ice.
Ice.
If you come back, you can bring Ice too.
Oh yeah, that'd be fun.
We'll make it happen. Summer or winter?
Summer.
Yeah, I know.
yeah.
Summer.
Yeah.
I would like that in between. I love a nice sunny day in the spring. 80 degrees?
You didn't give us those options, spring or fall.
No. No, you had to pick one. So I would guess we're going to go summer. Thin crust or deep dish?
Deep dish.
Now, you know the difference where they're from?
Deep dish is from Chicago.
Oh.
I don't know where thin crust is.
I'm pretty impressed. Let me just start that. Pretty impressed that you knew that. Thin is New York.
Thin is New York. Yeah, no, both my parents are from Chicago. Yeah.
There you go.
I've gotten into the
Who knows or do
cauliflower
it?
crust.
Unos or do a?
Unos.
Yeah, solid.
Yeah.
Good choice.
Cauliflower crust.
No, sir.
It's lower in carbs. You can't tell.
I've tasted it. Honestly, it's not
You
bad.
can't tell.
Yeah, you don't taste it.
It's not bad, but it's not good. I mean, you know, there's a difference there, right?
I can just like when you have normal pizza like regularly,
Yeah,
then you
come
taste it. You can taste a little difference, but it's not bad.
It's all about texture for me.
Not bad.
All right, when you're getting ready, you go sock, shoe, shoe, or sock, shoe, shoe.
Sock, shoe.
I do the same.
Yeah.
You don't?
Sock, shoe. And you
Weirdo.
know, my kids read something. My son read something that we had this conversation. He read something that like that is also consistent with people that are like serial killers. He made it clear to me that there's a chemical imbalance that would make me want to do that.
That makes sense. I'm not gonna lie.
You think it does?
That's not normal.
Jade, you want to slide over here?
Keep your distance, Jade. Keep your distance.
If you had a superpower, flying or invisibility? I have a reoccurring dream, by the way, where I'm flying, and it's always over standstill traffic in 280. I don't know what that means.
I don't think you like
But
traffic.
you know how I fly in my dream, and this is reoccurring.
Yeah.
Is that I will just do a bicycle pedal motion like you would warm up.
Yeah.
You know, you go on your back, and you do the bicycle. But that naturally just starts, and the higher I go, it's crazy. But I keep having those dreams.
Yeah.
But invisibility or flying for you?
Invisibility.
Really?
Yeah. I think invisibility would be better.
They're both good.
They are both good.
Both good.
I feel like invisibility though. I feel like you'd be able to know more.
If you could fly and be
Yeah.
invisible. Because if anybody saw me up there doing my bicycle pedal, I'd probably get shot down, let's be honest.
You'd be a government experiment.
Yeah,
Needless to
I'd
say.
get shot down.
Yeah.
What about you, Mark?
These are both good choices. Yeah. Invisibility seems like it could be fun, but flying, the things you could do.
True.
I'm not afraid to be seen. Let's fly around.
Fly around.
Yeah.
Be bold.
Yeah.
Finally, time travel. Would you go back in the past or do you want to go into the future?
Honestly, the future. Yeah. I say because the past has already happened. But if I could go into the future, see how things are going, then technically I could come back to the current, change that.
Gotta be careful of that.
Yeah.
You've seen enough Back to the Future movies.
You ripple
Gotta be
that
careful not to
time
alter
continuum.
See, and that's the thing. Like, I feel like
The chain of events you could set off, Jade.
that's what I'm saying. But I feel like the people who do go in time travel in movies and stuff like that, they do things that are so effective. Like they'll change big things.
Helpful. They're
Yeah.
helpful.
And it's like they change things that are too big to change. It's like so then they're surprised when they get a whole new future. I would just change the small things, like remembering where I put the remote. That way I just saved 2 minutes of my time trying to look for it.
You can't use it for monetary gain, though, but I do feel like I would take a sports almanac. Like
When
Biff did.
McFly hit Biff, it changed everything.
It did change everything.
Yeah.
All right, that's it
He
for the
punched him
lightning
out.
round.
Changed the whole thing.
What color are your eyes, by the way?
They're brown. These are
They're
contacts.
lovely.
Oh, they're contacts?
Yeah.
Ah, you should have lied. Because they were like an ice color.
Yeah, no, they're blue.
Jade, thanks for hanging out. Awesome to hang out with you. Hopefully you'll come back, and congratulations. Get another double-double. You guys keep winning.
On a hot
and
streak.
let's roll this momentum into conference play, postseason, and beyond.
Thank you
And
so
we'll have a
much.
big celebration.
Yeah, no, it's been great.
We'll have
being
Mark's
here.
miniature dachshund, and we'll have ice, and we'll have a celebration show.
That'll be fun.
That will be fun.
Jade, thank you.
Thank you.
Jade Weathersby, Mark Ingram, Inferno Podcast. We continue. That's going to do it for this episode of the Inferno Podcast. We appreciate all of our guests for hanging out, especially UAB women's assistant and former player Miyah Barnes and Jade Weathersby, our student athlete of the week. Not only learning more about her, learning more about the Blazers, but the lightning round segment, and UAB athletics director Mark Ingram. From all of us to all of you, thanks for joining us once again. YouTube, like, subscribe, ring the bell, and the Inferno is with you wherever you go. We appreciate you joining us this week in the Inferno. This is the Inferno Podcast, the official podcast of UAB Athletics. Blazer fans, this is the place each week to get an inside look into UAB Athletics. This episode of the Inferno Podcast is brought to you by the Alabama Department of Public Health and Pearl River Resort.